Hello, and welcome to TP's Music Talk podcast. My name is Ryan Ford.
And I'm Nick Replinger.
And you can find us at our website, tpmusictalkpod.wordpress.com.
And you can also find us at anchor.fm/TP Music Talk Podcast and other major podcasting platforms by searching for TP's Music Talk Podcast.
You can find us on other social media as well, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, and others by searching for TP Music Talk Podcast or for TP Music Talk Pod on Twitter. Just look for our logo.
And you can also email us at tpmusictalkpodcast@gmail.com.
We also have shared playlists on Apple Music and Spotify that you can check out by searching TP's Music Talk Podcast as well.
And don't forget to click the link in the description and leave us a voice message on Anchor. And feel free to leave us a message or a review anywhere you're listening. It really helps us out. And don't forget, donations are always appreciated. You can find a link to donate in the description of any of our episodes.
No part of our show can be reproduced without permission or written consent.
Hey Ryan, what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah, man, I'm hanging out with McKay. We're going to take a look at his latest engravings and talk about giveaways for I Engrave stuff.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, especially about those giveaways. And you know, I was on the internet the other day and I saw these ads for these other engraving services, and man, their prices are expensive.
Yeah, man. A lot of those other engraving companies will charge you up the wazoo for things. But I've noticed that McKay's company, they have items that are priced very reasonably, making it affordable, especially this year, to get a personalized and really impactful gift. Get your parents something that is heartfelt with your signature, or you can even do a letter in your own handwriting on something.
Oh yeah, that's right. And you can even send a scan of your handwriting on a letter, and they can engrave it onto a sign, a bottle, or whatever you could think of. The possibilities are endless with them.
Yeah, and right now, if you're in the checkout area, you can type in TP10 in all caps in the promo code box, and you'll get an extra 10% off. A gift from us. Go to iengravestuff.com today. Hey everybody, we're back.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but we have a bonus episode here for you today, and we're excited to share it with you guys.
Yeah, just kind of, we keep saying like we're gonna start hip hop, but we just have so much bonus content to share. Like there was so much extra stuff that happened right at the end of our 13th or 12th episode when we were saying goodbye to rock and roll that we just felt we had to share it with you. And we kind of have an interesting story for you tonight. It's not full of a whole lot of content, but we still think you'll find it interesting.
Yeah, so basically, to summarize what Ryan just said, you're welcome, guys.
Yeah. Just appreciate the content, okay? It's not the best, but no.
I'm so sorry for having all this stuff for you guys to listen to. I mean, it's not like, you enjoy. Well, I guess I hope you guys enjoy listening to us. I mean, otherwise, why would you be coming back? But
yeah, like, why are you still here? No, we're so grateful that you're still here. But yeah, this will probably be our last bonus episode before we get into hip hop. I promise it's coming. It's going to be a very large, very full episode. I mean, it's hip hop is a very full subject, I guess.
Well, it's all. I mean, like we've talked about subgenres within, rock, like metal and new metal, grunge, alternative, all those different types of metal. But we've never delved into a completely different genre altogether, like going into hip hop, which is a completely different style of music.
Absolutely. And it's not even like hip hop is so much more than music, it's graffiti, it's breakdancing, it's, MCing, it's DJing,
it's basically just a different way of expressing yourself. And that, I would say, I've been trying to do as much research as I can because I wouldn't say I'm a huge hip hop connoisseur, but I've been trying to learn a lot over the last little bit about hip hop so I can add to the conversation. And that's what I pretty much think it's expressing yourself in a different way.
Yeah, we're really excited to get into it. And, I wouldn't say I'm very much a learner. I'm not I'm no expert in hip hop either, but I like to say that I know a little bit, enough that I can give you guys a full episode. And yeah, we're just going to kind of talk about it, and I'm going to see how Nick reacts to what I have to say and see if we can blow his mind a little bit. So.
Yeah, I'm excited to go on this journey, guys, and hopefully some of you guys will be joining on this journey with me too, and that'll be awesome.
Yeah. But anyways, enough about that. We'll save that for another time. What we wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, well, first off, we have a new marketer, and it's actually my brother. His name is Tristan, and he is majoring in business marketing, and he's kind of taken Transmitter on as a side project. I don't know how long he's going to be involved in the show, or if it's going to be kind of his, his full-time project for the moment, but we're very excited to have him here. He's done some interesting and exciting things with our social medias. He's set us up with a TikTok, which is, well, we didn't think we'd ever have a TikTok.
I know, yeah. Yeah, but, he's really taking the reins on everything, and that's why you're seeing a lot more, movement and action on our social medias, and there's a lot more to come, and we're very excited to have Tristan on board the Transmitter family here with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've got some other housekeeping and things, like we just changed our website, and we've got some other things to tell you, but we'll save that for our full-length episode on hip-hop as well.
Yeah, but we just wanted to mention Tristan because it also delves into the bonus content we have for you guys on this episode.
Yeah, so here's how it I'll kind of tell you the story here. I spoke with Tristan, and he, kind of pitched his marketing ideas to us with the social media, and he's decided to kind of take the reins on that. And like I said, I don't know how involved he's going to be going forward with everything, but he is kind of a part of the family now, and will hopefully be helping us get our name out there more. And as he started making these posts, we actually had someone reach out to us on Instagram. His name is Andre, and he is, I would say that he is very into nu metal music. He is an artist himself, a musician who has made a lot of songs. He's produced a lot of songs.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of different musical content. We're just all the way from nu metal. Some of it's got more of those mellowy, vibey feels. I guess you could say like maybe like Maru type feel, and then it just explodes into all these other different genres, and it's very, very interesting to listen to what he's got, and he's very talented for sure.
Yeah, like a lot of his music is very industrial sounding, nu metal, rock, hip hop. He kind of just and it kind of took Nick and I back to our nu metal episodes, and when we were talking about kind of those subgenres of rock, and we although he does do some hip hop tracks as well, we thought it would be best to include it with our rock and roll portion in our first season, which is why we're giving it to you as a bonus episode. But anyway, so what ended up happening is first Tristan talked with Andre over Instagram and got to know him a little bit, and then he sent Andre our way, and we were able to chat with him on Instagram, and he turned out to be a very interesting and very nice, gentlemanly guy. Yeah. He was very polite.
Very, very cool, down-to-earth guy, and so we set up this call with him and talked to him a little bit about his music and the show, and we definitely enjoyed our time getting to know him a little bit better.
Yeah, it was so cool to get to talk to, one of our listeners and just kind of get his feedback on what he thinks of our show and talk about, his music. And we definitely tried to shout him out. And, we hope that if you're interested in his type of music, that you'll go and check it out. And, nothing but good vibes his way. And we want him to succeed. So we recorded a phone call with him. I think it's roughly 30 to 45 minutes long, something like that. And we decided to make it into this episode, and that way you'll get to hear feedback from one of our other listeners and hopefully get to know him and the type of music that he does. So
we hope you guys enjoy this content, and if you listen to this and you enjoy it and say, hey, I would love to be on the show, reach out to us. We would love to feature you guys too and hear what your musical influences are and what you like about the show, and we would love to give you guys a shout out too if you're interested in reaching out to us.
Yeah, because, we're always saying, like, we would love any and all feedback. And if you guys are interested in being on the show, we would love to try and make that happen. If you have something to share with us, reach out to us and we'll see if we can make it work. Certainly worked out with Andre. So I guess at this point,
without further ado, I think we'll just jump into it and let you guys listen to our conversation we had with Andre.
Yeah, without further ado, here we go.
Yeah, hello?
Hi, is this Andre?
Yeah.
Hey, Andre, and you do pronounce your name Andre, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Andre, this is Ryan and Nick with Transmitter. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good, man. And just so you know, this phone call is being recorded. I know you already know that, but I'm just saying so.
You don't sue us for any reason, right? No.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
But yeah, how's your day been, man?
It's been all right, you know.
Yeah,
Typical
just
kind of day.
same old stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's really nice to have you on because you're technically on our show right now. You're going to be on an episode here at some point, and yeah, we just wanted to quickly tell our listeners how we got in touch with you.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and yeah, we would love to get a little bit about your background and your musical background as well.
Where do you guys want me to start? My life, or like what got me into music? Like what?
Well, let's start because typically on the show, the first thing we ask anyone is, what got you into music? So, yeah, like what started you off in the music world? What's like, the first thing you were exposed to?
Music. I definitely have to say, because when I was a child, like I'd turn on the TV, right? And you remember when MTV used to do like morning music videos? So I'd definitely say that was a starter point. It'd be like a mixed bag, like, I don't know, like Linkin Park, and then it'd be a whole bunch of different stuff. And I think that kind of just started my whole weird, mixed music style. Just the fact that 80 things were playing at the same time, sort of like that, I'd say. I can't really pinpoint an exact artist, but, I'd say that's like the genesis of everything.
I gotcha. So your music taste is just kind of all over the board. You don't really necessarily discriminate against any genre. You just, if it's good, and you listen to it type of thing.
Yeah, but I'm no hipster, I'm not like one of those people that'll put my nose up and be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like I'm not some sort of elitist. I get what you mean though. Yeah, I am that type of person where it's different depending on my mood.
Yeah, for sure. And I love people like that because, some people, where they have very specific music taste, you always have to, when you're riding in the car with them or you're at a party, you always have to try and cater to what they want to listen to. But with people like you, I love listening to music with them because you can go from rock to rap to R&B, pop, whatever, and you just listen and have a good time. So I love when people are all over the board like that, for sure.
Yeah,
my whole point of that is just to say, music is music. At the end of the day, it's all noise. As long as you feel something with it, then that's what counts, I think. Even if it's noise, like, some weird dude from Michigan and his, like, synthesizer. Like, even if it's just noise music, as long as you can have an attachment to it, I feel that's my expression of music. Sorry for cutting me off. I just wanted to elaborate on that.
No, I would totally agree with you on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just gonna, continue on with what Nick was saying. Like that's what we strive to be like here at Transmitter is, kind of we don't discriminate on any type of music really, and we just love music itself and love the way that it can make you feel, and we love talking about it and just sharing what we know and seeing what other people know about it. I mean, that's the whole reason we started this. So.
Yeah, it's a dope show. I really like it.
Oh, good. Glad you enjoy it. How did you discover Transmitter, and what made you like the show so much?
Well, honestly, I'm not a podcast type of person, but once in a while I'll listen to a few podcasts. Like I'm not the kind of person who listens to like 20 different podcasts. You get what I mean? But I listen to a few podcasts, and the ones that I like to listen to are mostly like on music. So basically, the way that I found you and like a few other podcasts was that I was just looking up like, I don't know, like weird like nu metal podcasts or something like that, and then I stumbled across a nu metal episode first, and then I worked my way up and down. You know what I mean? I didn't listen to an order. I just listened, and I found a few other podcasts as well that talk about nu metal. But I do understand that you guys aren't strictly nu metal because I listened to the other episodes.
Well, that's awesome, man, and thank you for listening, and we appreciate that, and we're glad you're enjoying the show, and we're happy to have you here on it. And we had the chance. We listened to your latest project. I think it's called Raw Mechanical Soul, and we found it to be very industrial and creative. And our listeners, feel free to check this out. It's called Raw Mechanical Soul. I think you go by the username. I'm going to spell it out because I'm sure I won't pronounce it, but it's ISV and then $EUN. And Andre, I don't know if you... Yeah.
The thing with that is I created that, I say alias because I made music for a couple of years now. I created that alias when I was like, a child. I'd say this was like, 2014, 2015, when the whole, Space Ghost Perp, ASAP Rocky, let's put, dollar signs in our name and stuff. So that's basically why. You remember that whole, wave, right? The old cloud rap thing, so. Absolutely. I don't know. I just you know what? Let me make my name with a V and let me flip the A. So yeah, I don't know. I was a child when I made that name, and it's not like you can change your name and then it's automatically going to search up. So I kind of had to stick with it. I don't know.
I gotcha. Yeah. Well, definitely, we definitely don't think it's a bad one. I thought it was very unique, and yeah, this project, we really enjoyed listening to it. And one thing that I was specifically curious about, well, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Maybe we should talk about where people can find it really quickly, so if they want to, they can listen to it. Do you want to, let everybody know, where they can listen to it and where to find you there?
Well, when it's, my music process, I'd say is very productive in a way, because if you look at the date tags on my music, it's really like I'm cranking 7, and I'm not saying that's a brag. I'm just saying that's my. I'm sorry, that's how productive I am, and also I'm pretty much like a freestyler, where it's just like I feel it, I go in, and since I have so many albums, I'm trying to put them up on streaming, but it's just so much to. I have to sit down and I have to tag every single file. So for right now, it's on my Bandcamp. But I will try to work on putting it, everywhere, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
I've been on a slow thing. My older projects are definitely on, streaming and everything. But when it comes to my newer projects, I really got to, sit down and try to put up 10 projects. It's going to be a bit.
Yeah, and one thing that might help people kind of find you, I notice if you go to Bandcamp, I think that there's a link that you can click on that takes people to a link tree.
Yeah, I did make a link tree, so it's on my Instagram as well. I don't know.
Yeah, so that would be a helpful thing to try, just letting our listeners know if they wanted to check your stuff out there. But yeah, what inspired you? What inspired the latest project, and do you kind of want to go into detail about the creation of it?
Well, what inspired that project is what inspires all my projects. I'd say my main musical influences, and also life, like going outside, looking at the trees, and just my feelings. Because to me, music, not only listening to music, but just making music is more a cathartic experience. You get what I'm saying? So,
yeah, for sure.
Anger, and I'd say just mellowness and all that. It's releasing the music, because as a child, I very much was attracted and rooted into hardcore punk or post-punk, and I don't know if you can hear it in there, but it's just very raw. Abrasive. I'm not trying to be as abrasive as possible, but just abrasive and also raw, if you know what I mean. Just the whole hardcore punk, post-punk, just doing your own thing kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, I feel like I'm kind of stealing this from Nick a little bit, but well, I guess before we actually talk about some of the songs, because I do want to go into the whole, punk rock, punk metal, industrial, new metal sound that you hear on a couple of these songs. But I was really curious, and I wanted to ask you, I noticed that a lot of the tracks on the project are 2 minutes or under. And I was just curious if that was an intentional decision, or if it was just how the cards landed, so to speak,
Well, with the whole, short couple of tracks, I'd give you 2 reasons. Okay, reason number, actually 3.
Alrighty.
Reason number 1 is most of the time, again, since I am rooted in hardcore punk and post-punk, you listen to a lot of those old raw tapes, and black metal as well. I'm pretty sure you can hear some sort of, all the chaos or whatever. But when you listen to those kind of old original 90s albums, a lot of the times they were A, recorded live, and B, they couldn't afford more studio time. So, it's a one and done kind of thing, like a hardcore punk, like Bad Brains, for example. You get a 2-minute song and boom, or Visions of Disorder, you get a 3-minute with a whole bunch of sections and boom. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
That's
for sure.
that's the whole, hardcore. And again, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure at some point, in my older albums or whatever, I can make a song that's 3 minutes or whatever, but I don't know. I just can't really structure a 3-minute song, How am I gonna? I'm not Deftones where I can like keep your attention with like a hook and then a post. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. You're more, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're more, of a free spirit recording artist. When you write your things, you go with the flow, and then when it's good, that's what it ends. And when it stops, you just, like you said, you just raw in motion. You like connect to a sound with that feeling, and you just go with it, right?
Yeah, but I do write once in a while. Like I'll try to write a verse, or I'll try to write a hook. But most of the time, I'll like, I try to come up with a hook and then I'll write that down. You know what I'm saying? Like a hook or something, a loose hook. I like how that sounds. Let me write that down. I'm gonna change the word. I obviously write on some songs, but on other songs, I'm pretty sure you could tell that I'm just sitting there, just dropping the catharsis on you or whoever is listening. Not specifically you. I didn't want to, single you out or whatever.
Oh yeah, and we didn't. Yeah, and maybe this is a good time to talk about it. Well, there was one track in particular that I really liked, and I think Nick enjoyed it too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was your track "Weirdo" because I noticed that you mentioned, you from the moment we started, talking on social media and stuff, you were kind of telling me how not only nu metal, but you had kind of a punk rock sound that you occasionally drift into. And I heard a lot of kind of a punk rock style sound on that track. And, I was vibing to it. So that's one that caught my attention.
I don't know. When it came to Weirdo, it is a Weirdo track. Because, again, let me see if I can remember. So again, I don't save session files at all either, so it's just like, I do save session files in case like I'm working on the track, right? And then I don't have enough time to finish it, so obviously I'll save it for later if it's something I need to make this, But most of the time it's like a one and done, I only save the session file to try to finish it up, but
oh, sorry. Are you still there?
What?
You're cutting out, buddy.
I'm sorry.
We lost you for just a second, but you're back. We can hear you clearly. So.
Okay, so yeah, basically, one and done. Like I said, session file. I only save it when I have to finish it for later, And Weirdo really is a Weirdo track because, again, if I remember a drum and bass drum section, and then there's pop punk going on, and then if you remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, I haven't heard the song in a while, but I'm pretty sure I remember drum and bass and like pop punk drums, but it's just so much going on. I know, it's pretty chaotic, that last album.
Well, and hopefully you take this as a compliment and not like, I'm meaning it as a compliment, but one thing that it kind of reminded me of, that album that recently came out, Machine Gun Kelly's latest album, where he kind of went into...
Yeah, I know about it, but I haven't heard the full project.
Gotcha. Yeah, there was some songs on that, and when I heard Weirdo, it actually reminded me of a couple songs on that album, and I don't know, it's just funny because, the whole punk rock, but still kind of into the nu metal, hip-hop,
Yeah, I understand where the connection lies because, for some reason, a lot of rap artists are doing the Blink-182 style. Most of the time they call it Travis Barker, like Trippie Redd has a pop punk album out now too. And no ill will to them, but I'm just saying I'm noticing that there is an influx of, hey, let me do a pop punk record, But I'm going more from a hardcore standpoint than rather a pop punk. But once in a while I do show pop punk,
Yeah.
From the other side of punk,
Well, and there's definitely a lot of different sounds to choose from on this latest project of yours. Like, I know another song that I like, it was called We Are Not the Same. And I think I was getting like some Rage Against the Machine vibes when I was listening to that one. It was, a little more hardcore and had almost like a funk sound to it. It was
very, very interesting.
For We Are Not the Same, how do you say? I was not Rage Against the Machine. I am inspired by Rage Against the Machine, and I love Tom Morello and Zach, and everybody else in the band. Brad, if I remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember all the names, but I own the first 2 Rage Against the Machine albums. That's all I can say, and they're amazing. How do you say? I was more trying to pull into like a throwback new metal sound. I'm pretty sure you can hear a pandero. If I'm pretty sure, I'm also very, very inspired by Max Cavalera and how he takes ethnic world music and just incorporates it. Like you can hear throughout the track. That's not regular drums, and that's not MIDI or whatever. It's I tried to incorporate some of that, and then on some songs, I'll be honest, I'm not a traditional like trained artist. So sometimes I'll use loops, but I'll flip them. There's some people that are lazy that don't flip loops. If you know what I mean, like chop it or whatever. Because I'm in no way. I just jumped into this like a few years ago, and I don't know. I don't know no music theory. I just get the synth going, and then I just if it sounds good, I'll just you get what I mean. Like I'm cathartic again.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I'm an artist and I write music, things like that. But I took a music theory class back in high school, but that's about all I had. I barely use any of that. I'm not a very music theory trained artist as well. I'm more just lots of practice, lots of just listening by ear and seeing what sounds good, what mixes well, and just a lot of collaboration with the other musicians that I work with with my music.
Yeah, I feel like
honest. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead, Andre.
No, okay. Honestly, I'm terrible. I'm not trained at all. Honestly, it's just like my screaming technique and my vocal style, my music style, my mixing style, my production style. All of it is just no training at all. I just head in. You know what I'm saying? And then over time, it became a happy accident, as Bob Ross likes to say. I learned how to work with it. You get what I'm saying? Like if you listen to my first projects or my first few projects or whatever, you'll hear a whole bunch of the sounds that you'll hear now, but they aren't as matured. They aren't. And also, there's a lot of trap going on because trap was the thing at the time, and I pulled a machine. I pulled a Machine Head Burning Red, where I felt like I have to fit into the trap landscape in order to be accepted or whatever. So you hear a lot of auto-tune, but you also you'll hear industrial and you hear the stuff, but it's not as rock or it's not as upfront, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and we haven't gone back and listened to some of your older projects yet, but we definitely are going to. And just with the time frame we had, we wanted to focus on the project that you had most recently worked on and kind of talk about that. But I'm going to steer away from that for just a minute because I wanted to ask you, when you got in touch with us, you had showed interest in our new metal episode, and I was wondering, and not to be repetitive with asking you what got you into music, but what got you into the new metal genre specifically, and how has it affected the way that you make music?
Well, when it comes to new metal, honestly, the simple answer is Korn, and then I worked my way up. But the more detailed answer is one day in 2007, I'd say, when I was a kid, I had a little MP3, right? A little crappy silver. You know what I'm saying? And I went to SoulSeek. I went to SoulSeek and I looked up rap rock. I didn't even know what new metal was. I was just a kid that liked rap, and then I liked a little bit of rock. But by rock at the time, let me think of what was happening around that time. I'd say industrial rock more, because I already was into Nine Inch Nails as a little kid for some reason. I was just I was a weirdo. But again, I looked up rap rock, right? And then this big folder playlist just came up. It had Korn, System of a Down, and Slipknot, and then in between you had 50 Cent and just a whole bunch of just rap and rock songs, and then you also had new metal songs in there. And then as a kid, I was I don't care who the artist is, it's just rocks, I just like it. And then obviously over time when I grew up, I learned, oh, this is made by Korn. Let me download the Korn album. And then a lot of the times they would have liner notes, and then in the liner notes there would be other bands, shout out to Thank You too. And then from there, I'm like, oh, what is this band? And then I look up, I don't know, Limp Bizkit. And then Limp Bizkit, you know what I'm saying? Like I find bands through liner notes and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned Korn and also Nine Inch Nails, because like when I listened to your latest project, I was like, man, he had to have listened to some Nine Inch Nails at one point or another.
Nine Inch Nails is my bro. I have so much love for Trent Reznor.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's
so much
incredible for sure.
He's a genius, and
I don't know about now. I don't know about all this ambient cinematic soundtrack stuff. Because, like, he said after the Social Network, after I scored the Social Network, this is going to be my vibe. I'm just going to make a whole bunch of soundtrack music. I don't know about that, but like, the stuff that's classic, you just can't deny. There's a reason why those albums are so revered,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and,
Of course, yeah.
oh, gosh, the Downward Spiral, I mean, always be a classic. That one, I still bump that one,
Yeah, same thing. I can always go back to that one, and I have to start it from front to back, always.
Yeah.
So
well,
beautiful.
The first track on your record, actually, when I was talking to Nick and we were listening to it together, the first track on your record, I'm like, this sounds like it could be on the opening of like a Nine Inch Nails record, like the Downward Spiral, where it's just some cathartic, chaotic type sounds. And anyway, man, I could definitely.
Yeah, you might get Ryan on the tangent.
Yeah. But let's see, what's our next question here, Nick? I'll let you ask this one. I've been.
Alrighty. So you talked about all those new metal influences. Would you say that new metal is the main genre that has influenced you the most, or how do you think those artists from that time affect you now with your music and recording today?
Well, with new metal, like, I don't know, you can, like, how do you say, you can shoot me, but I think new metal is the greatest genre. But I do listen to a whole bunch of other stuff, But I'm just saying new metal for me is it's mainly what I like to listen to. But again, I like black metal. Again, I like industrial. I like all sorts of things. But what does inspire me about new metal is just at least the original stuff before it got, all homogenized and put on the radio or whatever. They found the formula, like, bands like Saliva or whatever. But, the original point of it, like, Korn just getting in the studio and Ross Robinson is saying, you know what, let's incorporate some funk. Let's do a little bit of industrial. The first one wasn't really industrial. It just had very small touches of it with the clanging and stuff. But just the fact that they just went up there and they said, you know what, let's do something funky. Let's do something fresh. You know what I mean? And then Limp Bizkit's first album, when they were like, let's do the same thing, but let's add more rawness to it and let's be more rap oriented. Yeah. And there's all the different bands that they just added their own flavor to it. I think that's what I love about new metal is, like, at least the original first and second generation. They're like, hey, let's do the new metal style where it's now, but let's add, like, bongos or something. You know what I mean? Like, they all had their own flavor of it. It's not like death metal where it's all the same. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Well, and yeah, like, Nick and I have talked about new metal, before on our show. And I think one of the things we said is that, it gets a bad rap from a lot of people, the new metal genre, but it was really a very diverse music genre, and it led to so many others. Yeah, yes, it led to so much more in the music world and really helped expand the sound of all sorts of different genres. And, some people would consider it kind of what would you say, like awkward?
Well, I would almost say, I guess you could call it awkward, but more of like a renaissance in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely it was a renaissance. But you know what's weird about new metal, just in general? How it does get a bad rap. I understand. I can understand both standpoints. I can understand it as a fan, I love this stuff, and I can also understand, hey, the lyrics aren't, you know what I'm saying? But what's weird about new metal is how it gets such a bad rap. It is such a bad name. It's such a bastard child where we don't even want to look at it, right? But then you get the metalcore people and the deathcore people just trying to rip that sound. They're trying to sound like a Slipknot. You know what I mean? It's like, we hate that, but let's try to rip that off. And then you know, after the new metal boom, you'd listen to the radio and you'd hear like little, you know, snippets and little pieces that sound like new metal. And obviously you had the SoundCloud rap thing where, you know, there were people that tried to do the weird trap metal style, I'd call it. But at the end of the day, it turned into just a whole bunch of overblown 808s and just distorted yelling, you know. So I hate trap metal in that respect.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, well, let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit more about, I'm going to steer back to your music specifically. And, you know, you talked about it a little, but what is the recording process like for you? And do you, like, mix and record everything yourself, or do you have, like, do you work with a group, or how does that all work?
Recording process. I definitely have to say, again, it's all me. And mixing, mastering, it's all me. How do you say? I don't really have much of a group. When I first started, I definitely had. I had collaborators like every once in a while, like a producer, you know, to help me out with like a melody or something like that. Like definitely on my earlier records, you know. Shout out my guy Daz. He makes like more trap stuff, oriented stuff. But you got what I mean. Like most like all the 500-600 songs, when you add them up together, all of them were produced by me. All of them were mixed by me. And I obviously wrote. I don't have any ghostwriters or whatever. I'm not Mariah Carey, right? You know. It's all organic.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. And yeah, you weren't kidding when you said you were productive. I mean, if you've got 500-600 songs under your belt, you know, that's a lot of work.
I don't know exactly. I lost track. I'm sorry. It might be more. It might be less. I don't know.
Well, if you've lost track, it probably is pretty much that close. I'm willing to bet. So.
Yeah. And man, that's just incredible to hear. And yeah, really cool. And then, so are you creating any music or working on any projects right now? I imagine you probably are.
Well, I'm thinking of, I am working on something, but I'm thinking of like making it a side project because I also found another person, really cool kid from Europe that plays guitar. And I don't know, it's going to be, you know me, it's going to be some weird industrial thrash, groove, funk, you know, weird thing. It's going to be a side project, most likely. And after that, I don't know. I don't want to make music anymore because I don't want to be like Metallica where I'm not in my prime anymore. And then I'll just drop something and it's complete, you know, soulless or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to. When I don't
want to necessarily dry out or anything like that, right?
Yeah. Also, I don't want to put out something that doesn't have a lot of effort. You know. Like, I don't want to manufacture angst or whatever, if you get what I mean.
No, that makes sense. And yeah, because music can be hard, man. Like, I envy artists like yourself and like Nick here that are in a band and, you know, write and record music. Because, I mean, it's a hard process and it can be very time consuming. And, you know, if you're not in the right state of mind and it becomes an effort rather than, you know, a joy to make music, you know, I think that's where a lot of artists go wrong. So.
Honestly, when it comes to, you said Nick was in a band, right? Did you say that?
Yeah, I'm in a band called Blitz 10, yeah.
All right, we'll look it up. I like any type of music. Anyways, my point is about bands is, like, again, my stuff is all solo material, but, like, my biggest regret in life is, like, being a kid and then finding a friend that could play bass guitar and the other one that could play guitar and then the rhythm guitar guy and the keyboard guy and the drums. That's like my biggest regret, you know, not starting an industrial, death rap, unit rap core. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd say that's my biggest regret in life. You know?
Well, I mean, hey, even without that though, it sounds like you've been, you know, hard at working your craft and, you know.
I'm a MIDI guy, so all of that is MIDI. It's not real.
But I mean, and not to say like if you feel like, you know, you're kind of going to stop making music here soon or whatever, but it's never too late too. And I mean, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, man?
18.
18. Nice. And I mean, it's definitely not too late.
No, I would say you still have a whole lot more ahead of you at that age.
No, again, I don't want to manufacture angst or whatever, and also I kind of just feel like, I don't know, I want to just go on a mountain. How do you say? I want to like live in a mountain with like, I don't know, just become a hermit or something. I don't know.
All right.
Well, I mean, whatever you decide to do, you know, we've really enjoyed the music that we have heard from you. And, well, let's see here. We talked about future projects. And then, you know, is there anything else that you would want our listeners, your listeners to know on where they can find you, or you know, if you're going to transverse and go to a different, you're going to start doing something else with your life, you know, where can people find you, man? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I'd say it's between Bandcamp and Instagram. I'd say for like future updates, and yeah, that's and the new project. I still haven't found out a name for it, so I'd say, I don't know, keep it locked and loaded, and I don't know what people say, you know. At the end of the news, they'll say something like that. Keep it locked and keep it loaded on, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
For the latest news, yeah, I don't know. I'd say that.
Well, I mean, it's been really fun to talk to you, man, and it's so nice to talk to someone who has listened to our show. And you know, I don't know, did we ask you what was your favorite episode that you've heard by us? I'm just curious.
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd say between the Chop Suey episode, because, you know, it's been covered so many times and kind of lost its meaning throughout. It's just the one song by the Funny Guys, and, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of lost its meaning, but it's pretty deep, you know, lyrical topics. And then between the first new metal episode, I'd have to say, between those two, it's a pretty tough choice. Because you guys and, like, probably, like, one YouTube video are the only ones that really, you know, cover the subject of, hey, Chop Suey maybe might mean something else, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really is such a deep song. And you're right, it has been covered so many times that I feel like it kind of has been meshed and mingled up. And, you know, I feel like people that when they think of Chop Suey, you know, they just think of the fast singing lyrics at the beginning, and that's all they think about is just that beginning, you know.
Yeah.
Wake up. You know?
Wake up.
And then they don't really listen to the rest of it. Yeah.
I just want to feel it when you take up. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, bro, I activate the pit when that song goes on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, and that's why we wanted to cover that. You know, we just felt like it was a very mainstream song, but it
also, you know, felt like, no, it was the pinnacle, you know, of new metal.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that song.
And it seems like it kind of went mainstream for, well, the both the right and the wrong reason. You know, people loved the sound and they loved how different it sounded, but, you know, I don't feel like a lot of people really take the time to listen to the actual lyrics and think about what it's actually about. So
yeah, when it comes to System of a Down, like, I understand the overhypeness of Hypnotize and Mesmerize and Chop Suey. Like, I understand why it's, you know, so overhyped. Not overhyped, because they are good songs, but, you know, to me, as a person that listens to a lot of music and not their best, I'd say the deep cuts on Toxicity they surpass, you know, Chop Suey. But obviously Chop Suey was the one the label were like, hey, it has strings, it has the right amount of the rapping, it has the right amount of everything. So
yeah.
But like that beginning of Toxicity, it's down, dunk, 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 like, and all the other stuff on Toxicity is pretty good. And the first album, the first album of every new metal band's first album is just so raw. You know what I'm saying? And then once you get to the second or third, which is the one that sold the more units, you can definitely tell it's been polished. And, you know, it's been.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and you know, I feel like Nick and I have Limp Bizkit in general, I think it's a bad rap from people, and people say that it's.
They're my favorite band.
Well, yeah, but I was just gonna say, like, I still bump. Oh gosh, why can't I think of the name right now? But their second album.
Is it Rolling?
No, that was
Keep on Rolling, baby.
Yeah, that was like Chocolate Starfish and hot dog flavored water, right?
You know what's crazy about that? The progression of Limp Bizkit, right? you listen to like a Counterfeit, and you listen to like a Pollution, like the first few songs off $3 Bill, right? And then you get break, and then Significant Other is still raw, but you can definitely tell there's more money being put into it, and there's more, it's more of a hip hop album. I'd say they're more hip hop centered. And then you listen to Chocolate Starfish, My Way, amazing song. Rollin', amazing song. But when you actually break it down, it's like it's supposed to be an amazing song, because it feels like it was made by the machine, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because it's just so good, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. And Significant Other, that was the one that I was thinking of. That one was definitely one of my favorites. But yeah, Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water, it had like a very polished, but it was still Limp Bizkit, because Limp Bizkit is very raw. And even though that was as polished and as kind of like, I don't know, planned out and put together as
not just because it's polished is bad. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that it's the mixing and everything is more, clean.
Yeah.
And say it in a better way.
Yeah.
Because all the songs on not all the songs, but a majority of the songs on Chocolate Starfish are good. But again, the thing is, it feels like maybe it was made like it. Maybe me as a consumer is supposed to. Because you listen to Rollin', and then you like actually try to sit down and listen to the background of the song. It's the same down round. Like, I don't know if any of you actually said that. It's like so, I don't know, derivative. It's like like this is made for the consumer. You get what I mean? Like sometimes you listen to a song and you're like, yeah, this song bumps, but it's kind of feels like it was made for the consumer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree, and particularly on that record, I feel like there's a little bit of that. But yeah, Limp Bizkit, they get a bad rap from some people, but I've always the thing that I've always envied and respected about Limp Bizkit is they're kind of like Green Day in that they'll take like very simple chords. Like, I don't know if you've ever looked up how to play.
Oh yeah. The one thing about nu metal is you can play it with one hand. Even though I don't know how to play guitar, it's just so simple. Like, I could program it, and like, literally nu metal is like the pop version of metal, because it's the riffs are so, simple. Not to on nu metal, but like it's just so simple, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I love about the nu metal, also including grunge and post grunge, is that they're not so complicated, they're not very classical, trained or anything like that, but they're still powerful, even though they are so simplistic.
Like it's simple, but it's still heavy. It's just like groove metal, for example. Like Pantera. You'll sit down and it's the same type of formula, except groove metal is more focused on the thrash side of things. You know what I'm saying? Rather than nu metal is just, you strip away the blues from it, and you strip away the soul, and you strip away just everything from it, and you just put the main kind of the upfront influences, and that's nu metal. Unfortunately, like, I'm not trying to say, but you listen to a nu metal album, there's no blues in there, there's no soul. It's the same. But again, when you pair that up with a nice funky bass line, and you pair that up with a nice and you pair that up with some rapper up there, it's the right combo, you got Fred Durst up there with his backwards hat going, yo, check me out, not like it's good,
Well, yeah, and they just, I think you kind of said, like, they just got the formula right there, and, although they get a bad rap from some people, I still, there's plenty of times where I still bump Limp Bizkit, and, I don't care if people think badly of that. Like, they've got some good songs, man, and they were really good at putting songs together, especially back in their heyday,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, what is metal supposed to be? Are we supposed to be a whole bunch of serious guys in, like, camo shirts and black shirts and listening to the same blast beats? Like, is that metal? Am I not metal enough for you? Do I need to listen to, like, I don't know, like Cannibal Holocaust? I don't know if Cannibal Holocaust is a real band. I'm pretty sure it is. But, I'm supposed to listen to that and just be metal. It's like, let's have... Because the thing with Limp Bizkit is, like, I understand. Limp Bizkit is like the equivalent of like trap music. It's not made for you to sit down and, you know, digest. It's club music, you know, it's party music. It's something to turn on, you know. Break stuff is to break stuff, you know. It's like party music essentially, you know. You're not there to think deeply about it, you know. You're just there to like mosh or whatever. Activate the pits, you know.
You're there to just soak up the music and, you know,
get you moving. Yeah.
Yeah. Feel what you want to feel.
Get your groove on.
But yeah, man, it's been so great to talk to you, Andre, and it's been really fun and nice to meet you. And thank you, like sincerely, thank you so much for doing this. I know you took some time out of your day, and I know it's late over there. It's it's getting a little late into the evening, so we just appreciate it, man. And we usually close out our show by sharing some lyrics that are important to us. And I had kind of talked to you about that. I don't know if that's something you want to do or.
No, I will share some lyrics, but like, can I do a shout out like section for a second?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Shout out whoever you want.
All right. How do you say? So again, I am from this small underground wave of people that are not bringing back, but you know, they're like, we're bringing it back. No, not like that. But, you know, that we are influenced by like new metal and, you know, hardcore punk and that kind of stuff. And I definitely want to shout out my boy Honey Split. He actually plays guitar and whatnot. He's actually, you know, guitar. And, you know, he does that new metal kind of stuff and he involves it with the trap and the Brazilian stuff like Mike Caballero. So I don't know, Hanny Slip, HANISLIT. Definitely check him out. He's more talented. He's cool.
Yeah.
I definitely say, I don't know, check me out. Check Nick out, you know, Nick, you gotta drop the band name again. Make sure everybody checks Nick out, you know.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody else right now, but definitely check out my guy, Hanny Slip. He's good, you know.
Yeah, we definitely will. We've been having some fun, you know.
He's definitely more clean and polished than I am. I'm too chaotic and raw, but he definitely is more on that, you know.
Yeah. Well, since we've been introduced to you, we've been checking out some other stuff, and yeah, it's just been a good time, man. But yeah, we're gonna close out from here. But again, Andre, thank you, and yeah, maybe we'll, you never know, maybe we'll talk again at some point. And yeah, much love, man.
Yeah, well, we'll go ahead and let you
back.
Yeah, we'll let you go ahead and take away with those lyrics you wanted to share.
Lyrics, all right.
You've heard it a million times, but that's because it's worth it.
I engrave stuff.
Need something engraved?
I engrave stuff.
Need some gifts for holidays and birthdays that are actually cool and can be totally personalized to your liking?
I engrave stuff. Check out their social medias. I see an Instagram giveaway very often, and they're actually legit. Connect by going to iengravestuff.com.
Another thing they have is an engraving service. If you have a thermos or a bottle or a baseball glove or anything you can think of, all you have to do is get in touch with the awfully friendly people from iengravestuff.com, and one of their laser experts can get an estimate to you. It's super simple, and they work hard to make it easy to explore your engraving ideas.
And if you go to iengravestuff.com and you're shopping, be sure to type in TP10 in all caps in the promo code box at checkout. That'll get you 10% off. Check out iEngraveStuff today.
All right. Head like a hole, black as my soul. I'll never give you control. Is that how that one goes? I haven't heard. Wow. I'm gonna go with
that. 9 Inch Nails, man. Had to throw it back there.
Control. I just thought I'd rather die. Yeah. I don't know, the punk rock attitude. I'm not gonna give you control. You know,
yeah. Pretty Hate Machine. That's a great song to leave off with. Head like a hole.
Alrighty. All right. Well, thanks so much again for being on the show. We really enjoyed talking with you, getting to know you better, and yeah, thanks for tuning into our show, and yeah, we hope you have a good one, man.
Lots of love.
All right. See you, Andre. Bye.